it is truly a pleasure to be here today. You know, I wasn't going to say at a number of points along the way I was totally certain we were going to get this done. You know, when after the abrupt closure and the shippers and we all got together and what are we going to do, and so I asked the governor to hold a meeting in Salem, and I thought he could provide a focal point. He did. And we had representatives of Fortress Investment there and others, and Ted, being the reasonable guy he is, just said to me, look, we'll work this all out. We can work it out with them. And as the meeting progressed, I said, Ted, I don't think these are reasonable people, and I don't think we can work this out with them. And he's like, no. So as the meeting progresses, I could see that he's starting to begin to frown a little bit. And then basically the offer was, look, you do all the work that we have neglected to do for 10 years. You rehabilitate the entire line. You pay for maintenance, and you subsidize our operations, and we might keep it going. And at that point, Ted, I just dropped his fist on the table. Everyone startled, and he said, you might have lawyers, and you might think you can get away with that, but he says, but I've got a Justice Department, and I've got a lot of lawyers, and you're not going to get away with that. We are going to reopen that rail line. You know, and that was the end of that, and then we began this journey. I went and testified before the Surface Transportation Board. The Fortress people decided they would deny anybody and everybody the future potential of having rail service to the coast. In their wisdom, having neglected the line for 10 years, they said, well, we're going to abandon it, we're going to sell off the property, and we'll make money by ripping up the rails and selling them for scrap. I went, I believe Senator Wyden went, Representative Support went, and we convinced the Surface Transportation Board to force. You don't normally get to force these hedge fund guys to do anything. Force them to sell the line at a reasonable price. And then with a great partnership with the state, and we've got two, at least three, here's Arnie and Joanne and Susan here today. We got money from the state of Oregon to purchase the line. I had gotten some additional money in one of those horrible earmarks to finish the rehabilitation of the rail bridge, which we'd started in the previous transportation bill. And I said, well, it doesn't do us much good to rehabilitate the rail bridge if we don't have a railroad. So I had to pass a law, but we got that money transferred over to help purchase the line. That wasn't the end of it. The state came up with more money to help with rehabilitation. And I got to talk to Secretary Ray LaHood and got him to designate some Tiger funds to help us finish renovations to the point where we'll be able to run trains fast enough in the not too distant future that we can get them up to the main line with one crew. It's going to save the shippers a bunch of money and make the line a more viable entity. So it's really, for me, a happy day. I spent a lot of days fighting with Wall Street about a lot of stuff, and I got to say, most of the time, I don't win. This time, we did. It's kind of a fairy tale. Coos Bay, North Bend, the southwest coast of Oregon, the state of Oregon, the private sector, the shippers and affected individuals, our state legislators, the governor, we all came together and we provided a gift to this community that we'll keep on giving for forever. I think 20, 40 years from today, people look back and say, gee, I wonder who those people were. They were so smart to think that we should preserve and enhance this rail link to this port. And look at all the activity here today with ports on the West Coast becoming more and more crowded. As soon as we get the investment we need out of the Corps of Engineers to fix up our jetties and do a little dredging and maybe a little more money to deal with the rail bridge, we're going to have one heck of an operation here. So thanks to everybody who helped make this a joyous occasion. I appreciate it. Thank you.
He doesn't get off quite that easily. My name's David Koch from the Port of Coos Bay, and we firsthand on the South Coast here have seen Congressman DeFazio's commitment to infrastructure. And there are a lot of partners that came together to help reopen the Coos Bay rail line. I don't think any of them can boast the $25 million in federal funding that the Congressman has been able to help us secure for everything from realigning Trans-Pacific Parkway for greater safety improvements out on the North Spit, to to the reallocation of the money to help us purchase the line, to the identification of $2.5 million in safety loop money to allow us to purchase railroad cross ties, and the $13.5 million Tiger III money. And when we started down the road of rehabilitating the rail line, we provided Congressman DeFazio with a rusty piece of metal from the bridge as a symbol of the work that we had to do on this rail line. We're happy to say that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. In this case, we're glad that it's a train. So we would like to present the Congressman with the light at the end of the tunnel in recognition for all of his hard work in getting the rail line reopened.
The other one you hang on the wall. When I was first in Congress, the Lane County delegation would always come back and lobby for things, and they'd meet with all the members of the Oregon delegation. And at one event they gave Hatfield and Packwood plaques, and they gave me a chair from the 5th Street Market. And I said, that's very appropriate. The working congressman gets something functional, and these guys get plaques to put on the wall. So thanks very much. This is great.